fighting, finger pointing, and standing outside with makeup dripping off you. And that's just what's going on with the men's team. We've got a lot coming at you with the Celebrity Apprentice, the new Celebrity Apprentice coming at you right now.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
A throwback. Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to the after show for the new Celebrity Apprentice on NBC, featuring the Terminator. And tonight we'll be discussing episode 2, even though we're on tasks 3 and 4. Hold on tight, because there's a lot to cover here. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and sitting next to me to go in deep.
Jamming next to you.
I'm Alison Dean.
Hey, Alison Dean.
Hey.
I'm Christy Olson. You guys can always hit me up at Christy Reports. Where can they find you, Miss Allison?
Oh, at the Alison Dean. So easy. The Alison Dean. So easy.
I like
Did
it.
you already see where they can find you?
No.
Oh, see, I was like, I'm not missing something.
Yeah.
I was just going on what he was doing.
Sorry, I took
You
the
can
reins
find
there.
me at Grants__Ants, should you want to, should you feel so
Exactly.
inclined.
Yeah.
And they
Yes.
do.
I would love that. Yes, let's talk about the show. So much to cover, like I'm a little overwhelmed because there's just so much to cover in a short amount of time. But we're going to get into all the details, starting out with the very first challenge, Welch's 100% grape juice.
100% grape juice, Grant.
Yes.
Not to be confused with
No
prune
added
juice.
sugar. Oh yeah,
No.
no prune juice.
No, that'll be a little bit of a different show. The elderly Celebrity Apprentice.
That would have made for very interesting content, though, if there was a prune juice
That
element.
could have been the
That
viral
could have
video
been very
challenge.
funny.
The
I
viral
agree.
video, yes.
That was a miss. That was a miss.
So Dee Dee from Welch's tells us that they need to come up with an 8 to 10 minute live health segment with that supports like a healthy lifestyle and the healthy overall drink, right? I'm pretty much like playing up the health of the product and the lifestyle that it goes along with it. They're being judged on a brand showcase, creativity of presentation, and audience integration. And there's a $50,000 prize for this, so they could potentially make a lot of money for their charity. As we saw, the women chose Layla Ali, who really commanded and took over.
Which I would expect from her.
Yes.
As per usual.
She has a nutrition background because she's in nutrition school, so it actually made a lot of sense. I like when someone is really definitive. It's like, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this one.
Right.
Where I feel like it's always like a high school project where it's like, all right, pick someone, and you all turn to each other and you hope that someone will say something. It's like, you're on a show. Like, what do you think you're doing on this show? Like, you should be like, nope, I'm here. I want to play the game.
Right.
Historically, it's also bode much better for the project managers who were gung-ho about it in the beginning than
Right.
someone like a Snooki who was a little hesitant to begin with.
Right.
Although she really stepped up for that moment. She was like, I'll do it. Yeah. Maybe it's like she wanted to do it because she wanted to go home too.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I
She's like,
think
I'll
so.
do it.
Definitely,
Send me home.
Layla had different intentions being the project manager in that
Yes,
first
yes.
task.
Yeah.
And then also the men picked Chael. Is that
Yep.
Yeah, Chael. I heard his name.
Much discussion over it. We decided on Chael.
I don't know who this man is. I don't remember him from the first episode. I'm not being shady. I don't remember him being on the show.
That's okay. We do.
I'm glad that you do.
He's actually, and Chael is actually huge in the podcasting
He's
world.
very
He is one of
famous.
the,
Yeah,
one of the
okay.
biggest MMA podcasts. But the reason maybe why you haven't heard from him a whole lot, he's been out of the fighting world for a couple years after not passing some drug tests in the past. He was suspended. So now he does have an upcoming fight in January 21st against Tito Ortiz. So that's major.
Big name.
Okay. That
Major.
name I've heard. This guy I don't know, and I don't really care for him.
Did Tito
You'll
Ortiz
probably
also
see
have
him
drug
popping
issues?
up all over the place.
Now that I know, now that you see the name.
No. He had Jenna Jameson issues.
Oh, okay. Got it. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Porn star issues.
I was like,
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not a big fan of this guy, to say the very least. Whatever. We'll get into the conduct of being a project manager later in the episode.
he's definitely confident, for sure.
Yeah.
Like he's a confident guy.
Yeah.
He thinks he's
maybe
going to
too
that
much.
finale,
right.
which he was not in our picks last week when we were like, these people are up there.
No, like you said, Grant, we barely paid him any mind.
I
last
really,
week.
honestly, and I watched the show very closely, and I knew who was on, and I read the little snippets, and I talked about it on Grant's Rants. We went through the TV guide, and we looked at. So I'm like, I feel like, how do I not know who this man is? But all right, here he is.
They definitely used him for the makeup segment last week because they were trying to play up the fact that like big burly guys are applying makeup.
Right.
So he was one of them.
Well, perhaps he blended into the background, much like Brooke Burke, who we don't even know what she's doing on the show, except floating through.
She's an interesting one because she seems to be able to really like chameleon the whole thing.
Yeah.
She participates when she needs to. She speaks up when she needs to. She's also trying to like mediate when she needs to. So she's playing the game.
Yeah, it's clearly a deliberate choice for her to sort of fly under the radar.
Yeah, I've always goofed on her because when she had her stint on Dancing with the Stars, I was
Her stint, she was. Oh no, she wasn't the original host, but she hosted for
was
quite a
for a
few
while.
years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she was the winner.
She was, but the way she hosted that show, I'm not picking on her, but the reason why I goof on her is because she would always just be like, "What was it like out there?" And then they finish the question, she'd go, "Tom." She would just always throw it. She would always throw it to Tom.
Don't send that clip to Brooke Burke.
Grant, I'm glad that you actually brought that up because the original host of Dancing with the Stars, Samantha Harris. Now, if you remember last week, we talked about, we saw Carrot Top in the audience with the men, and was he there to be an alternate? When I watched the episode back, I saw Samantha Harris hanging out watching the women's presentation. So I think, yes, indeed, Carrot Top was there to be an alternate for the men. Samantha was there to be an alternate for the women. Clearly.
Interesting, and they
Right?
went with Brooke. Interesting.
Next up, Erin Andrews, Celebrity Apprentice, next
Oh, my
season.
God. Yeah,
No?
no, don't bother.
No, thank you.
Well, the ideas were for this test. The women wanted to have a daytime talk show with special guests like Miss Grape. Thank God that fell between the cracks because they
Yeah, what happened to that?
yeah.
There was just not enough
The
time
ones-
with
they
Portia
couldn't
talking.
find the purple onesie.
Portia wanted to highlight a celebrity guest that was coming on to clear up rumors. I don't know what's going on. This Portia, though, is really something else. She was upset that she hadn't laughed in a while, so she had to start drinking. And I'm like, well, you all don't have a reason to laugh because you've been straight up losing.
Right.
And you gotta buckle down and be like, all right, what is this? You know, we're halfway through the semester and we're failing, so you gotta pick this up. I don't know. I don't think there was a time for them to have to worry about being so lighthearted, I guess, unless if they just don't care. And it's like, whatever.
I think they care. I just think they're really not finding their rhythm.
Right. Well, clearly.
I think the caring sort of subsides whenever
Drama.
each one of the ladies realizes that they're not going to be the focal point. Or it's like if it's not about them all for a second, then it's sort of like, whatever.
Yeah, I think so. They just
Interesting.
like give up. They're like, all right, well, it's not. I'll take over the next one then.
Right. I think that's
Yeah.
why Portia is so active continually because she kind of has succeeded in making it about her. The
Portia
in
show.
every
Yes.
task.
Well,
Yeah.
she's very accustomed to this.
Right.
This is true.
Well, celebrity chef Rocco DeSpirito was on, and
Looking good, Rocco.
he said that he told the women that he felt that their concept was good, but that their integration with the live audience was lacking. It needed a little more entertainment.
It wasn't
value.
lacking. It was not there.
Non-existent.
It did not
Yeah.
exist.
And Layla said, "Well, I'm not worried about that." So, okay,
Well, yeah. Not only did it didn't exist because they didn't try to make it happen.
right? No.
She was totally unconcerned with something that was asked specifically that they knew they were going to be judged on.
I think the only win that they had was honestly the food segment with Layla. Like, because I thought
cookie
that
segment, yeah.
obviously, okay, that was relevant to the grape juice and the healthy lifestyle stuff, but everything else I thought was kind of lame-o.
Yeah.
I was shocked at the outcome. I was literally like, everyone's
Oh, yeah.
terminated.
We all were.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the men and how they came up with their concept. John,
Because they're smart.
Yes, John came up with the Tonight Show idea. That's interesting that the guys chose like the late night version and the girls chose the daytime version. And he wanted to come out and have Carson host the show and do comedy and have a song. And you know what? I thought the song was a cute
The
idea.
polyphenols, everyone. Well, that was
It's
smart.
a lot
That
to
was
do
super
in a
smart.
short time. You know, it's just a lot to do in a short time.
They did it well. Their time management, I thought, was much better than the women, and I thought that they had a great mix of things. I thought the criticism was actually not on point for them. I thought they were trying to find things that were wrong with the guys' side, just because the guys have been crushing it.
Like the one thing
Crushing
that the
those
men
grades.
We'll
do-
get to the negatives. We'll go through
yeah,
what
but
they said.
the one
yeah.
thing that the men do amazingly is bring that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
You know, even before whatever the task actually is, when they're in the presentation and they're talking to the people, oh, here's what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, let's get it started. They bring that energy and they seem like they're into it. And
Yeah.
it's about the team and about winning.
It's also about highlighting their strengths, right? So they always kind of play to like what each guy is really good at, right?
Yeah.
It's like they know, okay, John Lovitz, comedy, do it. That's what your wheelhouse is. Music, do it. That's what, like.
You're so onto something with that, because with the women,
Well, it's smart. It's highlight what you know, because obviously that's also going to appeal to all the judges, because that's how the judges know these people also.
Right.
And when you started saying that, I thought, oh, but we really just have more entertainers on the men's side, more of this. But no, that's not the case. If you stack the teams up next to each other, you'd see you've got two athletes, you've got two,
Right, yeah. The women just, I guess, are a little more focused on themselves and their own image versus like saying like, hey, I always envision you like this. You should definitely do this segment. You could represent this. They're more just into like, what can I be doing? How can I be in the middle of this?
Surprisingly, though, the women didn't have any musicians on their team.
Well, they had the
is
girl from
true.
last week who left.
Portia's not one of the many housewives who's put a song out there?
No, but
Get on that, girl.
originally they
Oh,
did.
Carney Wilson.
Yeah, originally.
thank you, yes.
Yeah.
That's true. That's such a.
That was a big
Well, the
she was a
men
big
seem to have
loss.
too.
Yeah, that was a big loss. Yeah.
Yeah,
Carney
that's a
was a
bummer
loss.
because that was no bueno. Okay.
So what else did they do? Frank Dickerson put down
Eric.
Eric. Sorry, Eric. Yeah,
It's okay.
I'm reading
Frank,
it.
Eric, hey.
Eric
didn't see
put
him
down
last week.
He put down the bottles in the audience. I thought that was going to come up like, oh, that was a really good idea. Got the product in the hands of the audience.
Yeah.
Like people were interacting with it. But basically that was just the point to show that he said, I'm going to do that, and that's good enough.
Well, no, but he also was
they
leading
were trying
the.
to feed us the storyline
Oh, yeah, true.
that was all that he was
Right.
doing, and then they kind of just
Right.
glossed over. Oh, he had this fitness thing too. Oh, he did have the audience there doing the thing, but we barely saw that
Yeah.
for a second.
They painted
were
him one way.
trying. Yes, they were trying to give us that.
I didn't buy it though. I didn't buy it. Hopefully you didn't either.
Yeah. Well, they did get the audience on their feet with their presentation a couple times.
Yeah.
It was a little lame, but at least they definitely
I
got
thought
some
it was a little
participation.
Cheesy,
Cute.
cheesy,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it worked.
I mean,
Yeah.
look. For whatever the time that they had,
Right.
good use of time.
Yes. So let's go over the positives and negatives for the men's side first. Their positives were that they had audience participation, which was obvious, and it was glaring to me just looking at the two. And the song and the messaging, the execs enjoyed on that side. And the negatives were that it was a cohesive theme, which was a little lost on me.
Totally. What you mean? Lost that they couldn't figure out what the theme was?
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I thought it was
consider-
obvious.
Yeah. I once again reaching.
Yes, reaching with those negatives. They said it was just disjointed, and they didn't focus enough on the health. They only focused on the health over lifestyle. That's what it is. They focus on the healthy side of drinking the juice
Right.
versus the lifestyle that you can integrate it with. But I thought that guy said, "I make these for my kids." Like that was like a life. That was his lifestyle.
That's totally. Health and lifestyle kind of.
Like
intertwined?
We're splitting
I think
hairs
so.
here.
I do.
Yeah.
I
And
think
there was,
so.
again, I think they're trying to make us overlook the exercise segment with Eric.
Yeah.
And I mean, there
Yeah.
were definitely things that I would have called lifestyle elements for sure. I got that from watching the men's presentation.
I we'll get into it in a minute, but I don't know what they did that wrong in that presentation. Meanwhile, the women had some positives. What did they say to them? They said that it was very cohesive, and they captured the essence of the brand, and that they got the millennial mom audience very interested. I mean, there were only like a dozen people in those chairs.
Is there such a thing as millennial mom? They kept saying that, and I was like, aren't millennials a little young to be moms in this?
Nope.
Like, is that the group we're
No,
going
there's definitely
for?
millennial moms now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, weird. Yeah, even I was.
They're just gonna pass that crap
As a
down to their
millennial,
kids?
Yeah.
I will share with you.
No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not millennials, aren't we? Is
No, well, I'm
I
a
am.
millennial, but
I am, yeah.
I can say I
that
am.
something we can declare?
Oh, yes. I mean, I know I'm a millennial. You can research it later to see
Okay.
if you are.
Okay. I want to say no.
Well,
Initial reaction is a no, but I'll
there's
look
some,
into
there's
it.
some
I feel like
gray
you're a millennial.
space threshold. There's like some like chunk of dates.
You
It's all,
saw
like,
Wild On, so I think that.
Oh, see, that's what I think makes me too old to be a millennial. Wild On.
No, that's
Grant still has no idea what we're talking about.
he is not a. Grant is not a. Yeah.
No, you're a millennial.
Grant is a millennial.
You're a
Yeah.
millennial.
Okay. I'll
I don't know
fine.
where
I'll
I am.
accept
I
it.
don't know who
Anyway,
I am.
but I
Where
have
am
friends that are preggers or already have kids, so yes, it does
Okay,
play to them. But
millennial moms are
I
fine.
also think that the judges were being a little biased towards the fact that naturally their inclination is to have women talking about the product,
Yes.
because naturally it's like when you think of serving grape juice, you think of your mom serving it to you, or at
Yes.
least maybe that's what's in their minds. But I really think that the men's creativity on that whole front, and even the whole playing into
The dad thing.
and
Yeah.
just serving the healthy
Ricky.
snacks as a,
What more could they have done as a bunch of guys?
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah.
really thought it was.
Well, the execs loved the live demonstration on the women's side. Okay.
That was a lie.
Yeah.
I think that was the producer saying the women were, they're just, we can't suffer any
Yeah.
more losses at this point.
And the negative was about the engagement, which was obvious. That was one out of the 3 things they were being judged on.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. It was poorly executed. It was an afterthought. The project manager herself said she wasn't worried about it. And they still won. That was a waste of time.
What did
No,
they
and I think
celebrity
the
do in that
attitude,
one?
like, I know more than the executives about what they want, so I'm not going to care about the audience integration. That was
That
a
was
big
not
mistake
good.
on Lena's part.
Yes.
And I was surprised to see her make that kind of a mistake.
Same. She totally
Although
just...
I did really appreciate when Layla kind of shut Portia down in that segment. When
Yeah, let's
clearly
give her
Portia
that.
was gonna. That was great on the time
Oh,
management
yeah.
aspect, because I know that would have gone on for way longer than they actually had.
Yeah. Again, I don't know why she just couldn't control her time. She has to be respectful. They only have a couple minutes to do this.
Because I guarantee you she's always wanted to have a talk show like that. So she thought this is finally her chance to sit and show America that she
so
could be
good.
a talk show host.
I'm so with you right
yeah,
now.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, that one, she really got under my skin in this episode. But I knew she would, but I didn't think it would be this early. So Layla wins for the Women's Sports Foundation, and then the boardroom with the men begins, and there's a discussion over the song, and then that Ricky's like, yeah, I wasn't really into that song. And then they say, well, no, but the executives like the song. Oh, yeah, no, I mean, I was behind the song. I only heard it when it was just a melody, but yeah, I know it was great.
Well, I think that was them also creating like BS drama, honestly,
Right.
because I think we never saw Ricky saying that to Boy George, right? It was like there was like a voiceover of Chael saying, "Oh, he was going behind my back to Boy George about not liking the song," but we never
Yeah.
saw that moment happen
Right,
of him
true.
being like, "Psst, psst, "I don't think the song's a good idea." That never like we never witnessed that, so I feel like they were just once again planting seeds for us. I don't know, and. I mean, he kind of defended himself anyway on that. He was like, I didn't really
Yeah.
say that. I was just sort of like questioning overall
Right,
how
he
this
did
sort of
say
played
that,
into everything. But I thought they wove it in rather nicely.
Yeah. Well, Carson was asked straight up who should be, who contributed least was the question. And he said it was Eric and John, and that kind of set that situation off with John, who said that's a lie. He was like right away, like, a lie. And I like it. At least he's like there to say something. I like it. And Chael said that he was responsible. So okay.
I really wish in the opening credits they would also show the charity that they're here for. I
used
think that's such a
to.
miss. They only really?
Well, they used to show them when they would give the check to the charity. Like after they won, they would have like a quick 2-minute, and they'd go to like the local chapter. Of
Yeah,
that
that's good.
thing.
But I
You
also think in the
knew
opening
from the
credits.
beginning what charities they were all playing for. I mean, at this point, we could be 4 or 5, 6 weeks in and not know
Exactly.
not know the celebrity's motivation for doing this.
Yeah,
That's
Kind of
true.
silly.
I feel like it should be in the opening credits. I really do. Like
agreed.
a little logo, like
Yeah.
playing for.
Yep.
Oh, they have the opening titles, or even when they're in their interviews and it says like Kyle, Real Housewife of Beverly Hills. Like get
Play
rid of that.
for, yeah.
Yeah, get rid of that and put.
I
whatever
agree,
charity
because all
is.
these charities
Kyle
need
by Eileen too. Sorry.
playing for Kyle by Eileen too. I think all the charities need way more screen time.
I wonder if
it's
that's
a charity.
some kind of
Yeah.
deliberate decision
I don't
or something,
like it.
because in the past we've also seen the celebrities talking a lot more about it as a motivation. Like, oh, I really want to make this money for the blank foundation or for this. And we're not hearing about it until
No.
they've got the money.
Yeah.
It's just so odd.
Yeah.
Or
too-
don't have the money. Like in Snooki's case, I was like, again with the animals
know.
not getting anything.
Again,
wanna
she
know.
should have asked for 10.
I'm so curious. If you know what charity Kyle is playing for, I'm curious. I'm wondering if it's Vanderpump Dogs or something like that. I'm wondering if she's giving it over to Vanderpump. I'm just curious.
Well, I'd be happy about that.
We'll
me
Google
know.
it.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, I think I'd be happy about that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think.
I don't think
Lisa
it is.
Vanderpump
I don't
needs
think it
any more
is.
money, but anyway,
Well,
if it's for
probably
the dogs,
something for
it's
kids.
For the dogs. Yeah. Well, I'm just curious what she. I'm not being mean. I'm just curious to know what
Is it
she's
on the
playing
website?
for.
I don't know.
It
We'll
might
check.
be a cancer charity because didn't she lose her mom to cancer? That was a big thing, right? in
Oh,
her
that's
life.
true,
So
yeah.
it could be possibly that. Anyway, let's talk more about what's going on. So then Eric was like saying all these things about how he was either. interested and not so interested, and if he was to continue on with the game. What did you gather from this? I know you got the words.
Well, he just said, I do not have a problem if I'm fired, because they kept sort of pointing to him. So I think that was just his way of saying, look, if you're targeting me, I don't have a problem. Like, he wasn't going to try and be totally argumentative about it, but they turned it into, I don't care if I'm fired. He didn't say that. So they totally put different words into his mouth that he did not say. So I took issue with that for sure. Once again, Eric is not the kind of guy. He's sort of Snooki-esque in the sense of he does not want the drama. He does not want to be throwing people under a bus. He totally felt like he was going to get targeted, especially because he was not there for those 2 days. And I just think that he kind of saw what the competition in the room was, and he kind of just probably realized, like, I don't have the
But that
patience
came
for
across
this.
in his demeanor, and I
Right.
think that's where they got the I don't care from, was not just from his words, but from the fact that he didn't fight after that.
Right.
I mean, he
I'll
really
be real,
didn't
though.
show wanting to be there at all.
I'll be real. When he said, I don't have a problem being fired, that it took me back to the Trump days, where if they said anything, like they showed any weakness or any fault, then
Done.
they would go in.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that was the kiss of death, in my opinion.
Well, he might have done that intentionally. I mean, you know, he must. He's not an idiot, so I think he probably knew if that kind of a sentence came out of his mouth, for sure he's going into the boardroom.
Yeah, I suspect that this was intentional.
Yes, I don't know. He's like, I'd rather be in Hawaii or whatever. I don't know.
Because he doesn't have to do anything else, right?
Yeah. Well, it came down to the top athletes. Who was it? Chael, Ricky, and Eric. And basically, Schwarzenegger said he was going to get rid of Chael, but he ended up keeping him because of the comment that Eric's made, and he's like, "You're more hungry. Like, I want to keep you." But that's something good. I wish that the other girls could hear that, because you can earn brownie points in this game with
Being hungry.
Schwarzenegger, by being like, "No, I'm going no matter what. Like, I'm gonna keep going forward." Maybe that will keep Lisa alive over on the other side.
Man, Lisa's having some. I feel bad for Lisa Leslie.
I do too, but before we get to that, Shale a little bit, he came across as very pompous to me in this scene,
Yes.
and I almost wonder if that was deliberate on his part in a way to connect with Arnold. Arnold has come across that same way as well in the
Shale.
first couple. I probably said it wrong. Now.
No, you're right.
In the
No,
first
I was
couple
thinking- I was
tests,
calling
Is it Shale or Chael?
I thought I was calling him
Chael,
Chael.
Chael, because I was saying Shale and I was wrong. Chael.
Chael. Okay.
Right, but I wonder if that was him being like puffing up a little bit and saying, "No, see me as this fellow big businessman who's serious about being here, and like relate to me, Arnold, by being jerks."
And Arnold
it
wants
worked.
that. Yeah, Arnold
Yeah.
wants that. He even says, "This is where you can go crazy," and like Snooki like grabs a tissue. You know what I mean? Like, so at least for once he got a moment that he wanted, like, to see these celebrities fight.
I think it was deliberate, because we get that moment between him and Ricky off camera with them allegedly brawling, and Chael winks at Ricky or whatever. So he's definitely playing to the cameras of being that very overly assertive.
Oh, bye. I'm
Do you know what I mean?
Bye. Yeah.
Whatever.
No.
I mean, at
No,
least
I agree. I'm not shutting you up.
Yeah.
I agree. But
You
with
know?
him, I don't care. I just don't care for him. So bye.
you're like, I don't want you to win.
No, but I think he'll go play
What's
far.
the charity though? Again, it's like
Yeah.
maybe we do want you to win.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
true.
I don't want them all to win, but of course, I have my philanthropic desires.
Preferences,
I guess
yes,
I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the next competition began at the Lachman Museum, and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna do something
Cool.
artistic."
Yay.
Yeah,
Well,
new
it was sort of
age.
artistic. It was kind of artistic.
And then they did what I mentioned last week: these viral videos. Can't they just say a comedic short? There's so many shorts now. Everything they've got CISO and all these things. To me, I take issue with viral, because it's like you can't create something that's viral. It's like go out and create like a hit series. Like it's like I'm gonna try, but I don't know if this is gonna be like This Is Us. It might be like a joke. I don't know.
It's so ridiculous because none of these videos ever see the light of day. They never get put on the internet.
Which
we talked
means
about this
they can
last
never
week.
go viral.
They never become. There is zero possibility that these can become viral videos. And the idea of a viral video is not something that's supposed to be, traditionally, it's not something that's supposed to be produced by a TV show and a bunch of celebrities. That's not a viral video. Viral video is something that happens in people's homes when they didn't expect it.
That's what I think. Yeah,
Just
something
call
like
it
that, like the
something
mannequin
else.
challenge. Like I'm trying to think of things that aren't like these guys are out there. Even Boy George was like, we're like doing like Ben Hur, like we're doing all these rehearsals.
It's the kid in the back of the car after
Yeah.
the dentist going, "Is this real life?" That's a viral video.
That's what I'm saying. I agree.
Yeah,
what do you want to say?
Well, there's no hope for everything that she said is 100% spot on.
Yes.
You were
There's
gonna
no
say,
hope for
"Charlie
it.
bit my finger."
If it's not going to see the light of day, there's no chance of it becoming viral. So don't call it a viral video. Call it a
No.
video.
Yeah. It's
We
just
want you to make a
ridiculous.
video.
Yeah.
A 15-second spot.
That if
would
we did put on YouTube, perhaps it had the possibility of I mean, they
Yes.
could have said it in a different way.
And they
Verbiage.
put the time limit out of 15 seconds. I mean, and then they bring in this YouTube chick who's supposed to be this big celebrity who Christy and I have no idea who she is.
I know who she is.
I
I
don't.
actually met her once and she was very nice.
Oh.
But she was a
Sorry.
huge deal many years ago, I would say.
She was like one of the
was
first
her peak.
big YouTubers.
Yeah,
One of
so
the
I was
first.
surprised to see her there. I think there are a lot bigger YouTubers these days. She's definitely turned it into a career, and now she's like a tech host and a lot of things. I think she works for Yahoo, but not who I would see as a viral video star.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, just in the sense that, if you look at her videos now, I mean, she has
Again, they're very produced.
Yeah, she has lots of subscribers and
She has lots of sponsors.
views. Oh yeah, now she has
Well,
tons of
when
sponsors.
you have YouTube money behind you, you can produce a lot of stuff.
And she does.
Yeah, so good for her. Anyway, so they were doing a video as being judged on it had to have viralness to it. Had to be viral potential.
There we go.
Brand integration and product. The product appearance was also important.
Product appeal.
Appeal. Thank
Product
you.
appeal. I mean, the product appearance is also important, Grant, because
so you can read
you
the
need the
label.
product to appear in a positive way
To appeal
to the brand representatives that are there.
Thank
Hey,
you.
it was hardly in the ladies.
I've got so
We're
many
Housewives
pages of
videos,
notes.
so.
I don't even. I can't. it's a lot to read. What is this?
What is it?
There's a lot going on
I'm
here.
Yes.
So much.
So Nicole the mom, she said, Nicole the mom has stood up to face and to be the face of the women on this team.
I was actually surprised by that because when you think of Nicole Snooki Polizzi, you don't think of the curator of viral videos. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the procurer of viral videos. Like you think, I'm trying to think of who I would have picked
Yeah,
on the
who would you
women's team.
choose?
I almost feel like this would have been one that Brooke Burke could have done in the sense that
Absolutely.
she certainly knows how to produce things because she's been involved in enough shows, with enough other roles.
Yeah.
And I think she would have been able to wrangle the women much better. Mm-hmm. I really do.
Yeah. I wonder too if this was Snooki not so much falling on the sword like she wants to go home, but like oh man, I feel like I'm drowning, like sink or swim, this is the time, I'm gonna take on this role, and if I get plowed and I'm out of here, well then that's what happens. She just, I
Right.
think it was a decision made out of fear, and she was right to
Yeah.
be scared.
That
Right,
boardroom was real interesting because I don't necessarily think, I think if she would have been more Jersey Shore, I think she could have stayed.
Yeah.
And I think if she played it the right way, it would have been Portia that would have left.
Yeah, Portia. Oof. She's gonna
But
talk
Portia
her
just-
way into.
yep.
She's gonna talk her way out of the whole game anyway. So
It'll be interesting to see. I don't know. This chick just
When it happens.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, on the men's side, it was Matt Eisman that took over, right? So then I was interested to see what he was going to do. We'll get into more of it, but I didn't see him doing that much. I felt like it was so much other drama around John and around Boy George and Carson's arm. Like, I feel like I didn't see a lot of Matt.
Well, Matt himself even
Yeah.
kind of said, what I spent a lot of my time doing was basically wrangling talent, was settling down these guys after and he used the word temper tantrums. And that is what he spent a lot of his time doing.
True,
I think they were also trying to give us some drama on the men's side in the sense that because they keep winning, I think they're trying to infuse some added just like
like falling
tension
apart, yeah.
and stress and oh my god, maybe the men aren't going to take it because look at all this drama happening. I think they're trying to sort of, you know, level the playing field a bit between them and the women because clearly the women have their fair share of
Disadvantage.
right? Drama.
Yeah. I can't wait for them to mix the teams, but it's still early, I guess.
Is
it's
it?
Yeah,
early.
but if the ladies keep losing people, it's going to happen
It's
soon.
going to have to happen, yeah. So on the women's side, their initial idea came from Kyle, who said they were going to have a housewife eating with things going on behind her, but she was so distracted from eating, like they would carry a body out or there'd be all type of drama, and she'd be so into her thing. But
Into the BBQ sauce.
yeah, which I thought actually had potential.
Yeah, that was charming. Sure.
Yes, but somewhere along the way, it just went south. There was a man eating alone by himself on a chair in front of a screen of a mansion with the two housewives rolling around on the floor in front of him. It just somehow it didn't work
It did not work
in any way.
No.
But so that was that concept, and the second one was this double dipping concept that apparently was a huge hit. I just didn't see it.
It was. I mean, look, it was funny enough. It was funny enough.
If we're talking about viral potential, that one did have some potential. They said, what would you want to see watched over and over again?
People
Which
getting
makes
barbecue
sense.
thrown in their
course.
face. Thrown in their
Okay,
face.
all
Although
right, yeah.
at the end when they did the don't double dip, like that thing, that was totally unnecessary. I thought just punctuated with the barbecue in the face. Like they didn't need that weird. I don't know. Were they just trying to like add time to the video?
I think so, and that's another thing. Just make it smaller then so you can show the entire thing to us as the audience. This is another Rush thing. I wanted to see these commercials start to finish. I feel like I don't have a great idea of how they came out.
Right.
Because and it's only 15 seconds. I see that would have been a minute of time in a probably 42-minute show, but that's very important.
It's the task. Yes. I agree. Well, Portia was deemed the writer and editor on the project, yet she took over a lot of the directing in that dinner scene of the party scene for the double dipping video. And Lisa was very upset because she couldn't ask the project manager a question. Nicole didn't have an answer anyway. She didn't know what the hell was going on. So nothing happened really that was that great besides Lisa, again, trying to be a team leader. And she's leading kind of a lame team. I'm sorry. I mean, Layla, though, I won't put Layla in that because she's very strong-willed and she knows what she wants and she's a good player. I don't know if she's a good team player, you know, but she's in there to really work,
Right.
You know.
I guess we shouldn't be. I was initially surprised that Lisa and Layla were butting heads, but I guess when you think about it, it makes sense. They're both such strong women with their own kind of independent outlook, and they're both so used to being leaders and being regarded
It bums
as
me out.
leaders.
It bums
Yeah.
me out.
Yeah, me
Like
too.
I watch it and I'm like, I'm really
Because you want their camaraderie. You want them to
Yeah.
like think what they could do if they
Girl
got
power.
together.
Girl power. Here's another misgrant. The fact that in both videos, can you recall the amount of times that you saw the bottle of barbecue sauce?
Not at all.
Very few.
No, because
There was
even
one
when
shot at the end of the ladies.
even when she had on her face, it was on
Her face.
meal.
It was on her face.
They did end that commercial with a
like,
close
one-
up
yeah.
of the
Right,
bottle,
yeah.
but that was it.
Right, but the viral moment of that repetition it included the product, but it didn't include the messaging or the bottle or anything. It
Yeah.
could have been anything.
So I was like, not good. Not
yeah,
good, ladies.
my attention was not on the product at all. It was on this girl.
But again, it didn't need to be like everywhere in the scene. It just give me
one.
No,
Yeah.
no,
one
but
good
little bit.
moment.
yeah, no, but
right?
that warrants the question. I mean,
Yeah.
where we are talking about a brand
Maybe
here.
it opened with one of them saying, "Oh, do you have that King's Hawaiian sauce?" And we just didn't see it.
That's true too. That's true. You're right. Yeah.
Well, even Brooke Burke said that Nicole was not a team leader, so it was already on pretty shaky ground the whole
She
time.
didn't say that. She just said Nicole was Nicole.
And
Nicole was
how,
that
and
was
how she
later.
didn't
This is in the-
latch onto that.
This
Oh,
is when they were directing. Yeah, she did say that in the boardroom, but she said in a when they're out of the room in an interview on their own when no one can hear them, she did say like, oh yeah, she's Nicole is just not a very good leader at this task. So
she's throwing shade all over.
Yeah, I remember,
Oh, I know what you're talking
I
about.
remember
Okay.
because I remember being like, oh wow, this one has an opinion on the show. I'm glad. I'm happy to hear it. I want to see more of her. I actually am interested.
I want
to
to
see
see
what
her
she
on
has to bring.
Survivor.
Oh.
Don't you? Like
I never
She
thought
would
of it
just
that way.
like sit on the island, I feel like, and be like, "Forget that I'm here."
no, I feel like she would be a contender. Like,
think so?
Yeah.
I want to see Lisa Leslie on
For sure.
Survivor.
I'd be okay with seeing all of them on Survivor. Like
Celebrity
Survivor.
Survivor.
Yes.
How has that not happened yet? Isn't Survivor on its like 20th season?
Well,
How have they not done
Because
Celebrity?
no
had-
celebrity wants to do
They
that.
had I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Yeah.
Who was on that? Heidi Montag?
Heidi
or-
and Spencer.
No. People,
Yeah.
they're like,
They're on Celebrity Big Brother right now in the UK.
They got a
and that's
big payday for
disaster.
it.
Yeah.
Ray J got $1 million to do it.
Are you kidding me?
I am
Whoa.
not kidding you.
talk about a
$1 million.
segue.
They're trying to
Whoa.
revamp it. Apparently, it's
I
gone down a
love
little bit.
that show. I wish they would just put on a damn obscure cable network in the States. But yeah, I can't. That show is not worth $1 million. I'm sick to my stomach over
Right?
that.
Yuck.
Wow. Well, Portia says that Lisa missed the mark. And with the shots, and that they got the wrong shots, and they had editing problems. So there's all that drama going on. Meanwhile, on the men's side, they had trouble with they're shooting, and then drama on the shoot because they were taking too long, and the editing process, John was taking over pretty much, right?
It would make sense though if
that's
he's
what
the
they showed
director of the
us.
video that he would be doing it. I think his thing is just like, and last week too, it was like, just let me do my thing to show you. Like before you all give me your opinion, let me show you what I'm thinking, or listen to
totally
my
get
idea and
that.
acknowledge my idea. Like he feels slighted in all these instances, and he just wants to be acknowledged.
Like, let me show you before you interject. Yeah, I understood that. Although we don't know how much time he was taking, right?
That's
so
true.
maybe they were
True.
feeling the pressures of, we're running out of time. We're running out of time.
yeah.
So that's possible.
And this is where Matt kind of lost control of the men's time.
The ship? He lost control of the ship.
This is how it was painted anyway on screen. I mean, for all they know, they could be in the back having a beer and be like,
Yeah.
we're
We're
on
all
schedule.
fine, we're fine.
But this is where things went crazy. And like Christy said, he was doing a lot of babysitting of celebrities. And the video that I liked the most was the football one, actually. And I didn't think I would like that one that much. I thought it was kind of neat. I don't know. It was just it was quick. It goes to the point. They used the celebrities well. They had the product as the football as the center of the video. I thought it was
I
pretty
thought
good.
the men's videos just overall appeared better produced. They just, I don't know. They all just looked like they were put together better.
I mean, it makes sense when you've got someone like John Lovitz at the helm versus a Lisa Leslie or someone
Portia.
who's maybe someone who hasn't been so involved in production. John Lovitz literally
Right.
has been a producer
Yeah.
on many huge projects.
It's true.
He reminded us of that last week.
And this week.
Yeah. 40 movies. 40 movies. And overall, like,
Plus,
dozens
his
of TV
dog's
shows.
name is Jerry Bruckheimer. You want those two running the show if you're making a production.
Just called John and Jerry.
Well, Lisa Leslie, what else? She liked the double dipping video, but she then mentioned that Kyle came up with the idea of Saucy Housewives, and that really wasn't what they ended up coming up with at the end of the day. That initial concept, which we've discussed, and then Portia throws everything on Lisa. This is before they announced the winner.
Which we could have guessed was going to happen.
Right, yes. And then Matt talked about how John can be stubborn, and Boy George threw a fit, and he's like, I did not throw a fit. Like, kind of did.
Oh, that was good.
Once he explained himself, I thought that he was just throwing a fit. Like, well, it's not about shooting me right now, so I'm annoyed. But once he explained that it was just about the overall pace of the show and that he was waiting around and that it should have happened sooner, then I was like, oh, okay, you weren't just being a diva.
Anyone that's been to film school knows that those things take way too long for very little footage. It's like a waste of time. You're sitting there, and it's like, someone's going to re-angle the light board like a quarter of an inch. Like, ain't no one going by on a galloping horse is going to notice that.
Right.
It's so stupid. And some of that stuff, that's I have a hard time with like working on set with stuff like that, because it's just like, y'all got to move this along. I don't miss a lot of that. So I
Don't
get
become
it.
the location manager.
I get it. Yeah, no.
No location management for you.
No, I get it though, Boy George. I get it. So what is this? The men. Who's KH? I don't know who that. Oh, never mind.
KH.
That is what the positives and negatives were when it was the video. Oh, so the double videos. So the positives were that it was set. The men said that the men used their celebrity well. They liked the directing, obviously, and they liked the dog video the most.
That was interesting to me because I thought that one I was like,
Yeah,
it
it seemed
cute.
too obvious to
It
me.
was cute.
It was like, I could have written that.
Right, I didn't care for that one. And then they said that the product appeal could have been better. Okay, I mean, that's like you could apply that to a lot of things, like all of them.
Well, like,
You know?
so for example, because they're selling barbecue sauce, like what's going to make you want to eat the barbecue sauce? So maybe it would have been interesting to like take all the athletes and like do a video where all of them are clamoring for the barbecue sauce. Like it's feeding their pre-game, like, I don't know, drive or something. You know what I mean?
Or even the setup that they did, if there was just more of, oh, the sauce, whereas they barely even saw the girl, or that there was little acknowledgement. It could have been played off maybe a little different to highlight the product.
I will say it's so tough to do anything in 15 seconds. I always make little projects and they always run over.
Yeah.
15 seconds is nothing, especially if you're trying to tell a story and you have to fit in all these celebrities, and if, like, God forbid you leave someone out, then you could use that as like, oh, why wouldn't you use Boy George in this video? So it's like it's a lot to cover in 15 seconds. When he said he had 29 seconds he had to cut down, I was like, good luck. Even I think Boy George even said, yeah, good luck, and kind of like backed out, because that is a lot. It's a lot.
I think they did that on purpose too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
More-
that they
more,
play it just
yeah.
more like, oh God, are the guys gonna do it again?
Yes.
You know?
Well, I wrote Cage because it's King's Hawaiian. Just thought about it. That's their feedback. Sorry, stupid. The King's Hawaiian said to the women that they liked the double dipping video a lot and had a lot of product appeal, and their videos had that video had viral potential. That one. Then the negative was, of course, the Saucy Housewives video that had no brand recognition.
And made no sense at all.
It was horrible.
It was just terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, big miss there.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess you have to use what you got. You know, they had to come up with something, and if that was the best they could.
If they had done Kyle's idea, I think that could have at least
shot
it would have been
Kyle's
salvageable on some level for
Agreed.
sure. But they didn't shoot that.
No, and there should have been more blame placed on Snooki and Portia for making the bad decision to turn it into this whole other thing. Like, that didn't really get addressed enough.
Although the director, I will say, from Lisa's standpoint, she could have sort of commandeered and been like, we're doing Kyle's vision. So she could have come in and just been more raw dog about it and just been like, this is the vision, this is what I have written down, this is what we're doing.
And the director should be in the editing bay.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree with that
whoever,
too.
whoever was
know.
in control
Yeah.
from concept to beginning and
Right.
shooting, they should be sitting there.
Like John did.
Exactly.
Right. Well, Matt won for the Arthritis Foundation, and then they went into all of this back and forth in the boardroom, and Arnold Schwarzenegger said that the double dipping video was extraordinary. And I'm like, wait a minute, wasn't that great? Though I just have to say, was it extraordinary?
The man likes what the man likes.
I guess.
He
So,
likes his women covered in sauce, apparently.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise.
Kyle said that they were rushed to make changes to the concept, so she had nothing to do with it, and that it was not
Of course.
fixable.
Of course.
Yes, it was just not fixable because of Lisa. Lisa and Portia went back and forth about the editing and that you didn't get the shots, well, you were a pain in the ass, and all this stuff. Lisa says that it's all lies and that she directed everything that she was given, and Nicole says that she and Portia edited, but Lisa only shot it. What was not there for the editing, and so Nicole falls and basically says like, yeah, I mean, I don't want all this fighting. That this isn't for me.
Right.
No, and you could see it coming when it got down to the three of them in the boardroom. You could just see it on her face, and I kind of thought, like, before she said the words, I was like, oh, she's gonna throw herself on the sword. I felt bad for her in this instant, but she should have taken this opportunity. And even Arnold said to her, you said that you wanted to revamp your image, and he said she did that. I don't believe that she did.
Well, in the sense of maybe people's perception of like her, maybe you think she's like more combative than she is because of Jersey Shore, or she might be more like drama filled. And so in the sense that we see her on the show being very much like she does not want conflict and she does not want sort of any tension. She does not want tears. I feel like in that way, I feel
Right.
slightly differently about her.
Okay.
Well, moving forward, it'll be interesting because we talked about the guys when they had their back and forth and they kind of smiled at each other and were over it immediately. But Lisa and Portia, they're not going to be able to bury this. I know that for sure.
I hope
Especially
they
with
bring on.
Portia.
I want them to bring on a wild card on each team. Like I feel
Samantha
like
Harris.
the women. No,
She's waiting in the wings.
She won't cause the drums, but I do
like,
love her.
I want like someone to inject some like
I
new
expect-
enthusiasm.
I expect more fireworks between Layla and Leslie in the future
I think
than
so, too.
between Portia and Leslie.
See, I just
Portia
don't
just
think
in
Portia,
everyone.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think Portia's going to let it go. I don't think she's going to have that moment where she's like, all right, let's leave this behind us. We have another task. We have a horrible record. I'm going to just leave this forget it. But no, those two are just, it's bad now. It's just spoiled. So we shall see what comes up on the Celebrity Apprentice. In the meantime, final thoughts. Where can we find you guys?
Hey guys, I know we didn't get to news and gossip again tonight. We have so much to cover. Maybe it's something that we can do like a Facebook Live afterward. We can talk about it. Because there was big stuff. Arnold and Donald went after each other. And we want to hear what you guys think about it too. Please reach out to me at Christy Reports and check out youtube.com/Christy Reports. Thank you.
Hey, I've been your other host, lady, Alison Dean, and you can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
Yes, and you can follow me over on Twitter at Grants__rants. Unless if you're Donald, then get to work. I'm so sick of seeing you to comment on these shows and all this nonsense. Get to work. I'm so sick of it.
Amen.
Word.
Yes. You can please follow me on my podcast at Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk, where I talked a little bit about this with my grandmother. If you haven't heard that episode, it's a good one.
I can't wait to
love
see
it.
what she would
Yes,
say.
check it out. That'll do it for us here at AfterBuzz TV for Celebrity Apprentice.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.